an adverse stroke of fate debarred him from going to mother's room. He felt the blow. He came down. He never told me, or I don't know whether he has told others. You can imagine his anguish, his pain. He thought and thought perhaps. He could not adjust himself to other things. He tried. Then either an intuition or some other idea came. Now his inward gaze was turned outward. He started going out. To make this story short, as some of you have heard, he has gone all over India, particularly to the Himalayas. He took it afterwards, I believe, not as a curse but as a blessing. He said to himself, now Mother has made me free. He used to see Mother's hand, whether right or wrong I am not to pronounce, in everything. So he took it as Mother's blessing. Now I have been made free. For so many years I have been closely serving here, bound here. Now I am free, I am at liberty. So the world of nature, for which he had a deep attraction, called him. He started going out to the Himalayas, to Badrinath, to Kashmir, etc., etc. Then, what shall I say? After that, he started going to see various places. Himalayas, naturally, he was very much charmed, enchanted with the beauty of the Himalayas. You know that he was an artist, he was a lover of beauty, and it was enraptured seeing the scenery. It was as if, to quote a verse from Sri Aurobindo, I am not quite sure if I am quoting, God was fulfilled in outwardness. By the way, yes, I am sorry I have forgotten a very important remark of Mother. It was in 63 or 64, Mother told Champaklal, she was so pleased with his work from year to year, telling him on his birthday, Champaklal, I see clearly that you have become a part of my body. Part of my body or part of me. What a wonderful utterance. To be a part of your mother's body. So much he has served and so much he has gained, becoming a part of the mother. There is a verse in Savitri, I think, I may misquote as I always do, and people scold me. They forget. I think we are portions of God and must be even as He, portions or parts. So the mother is uttering the same word, you are part of me. And he was supposed to be going towards, must be even as He. However, now, coming to our subject, he started visiting places. Two or three places speaks of here, which were very, very favorite to him. One Orissa, another Hyderabad, and then Baroda, and I don't remember anything else. These places he has visited more than once, and people were very much As you know, in Orissa particularly, how people loved him, adored him, and worshipped him, so on and so forth. Then from 1975 to 1985, for 10 years, he has been going around the world, visiting India and many other places. It was certainly not globe-trotting or sightseeing. He had gone out, as you will see in one of these visions, as an apostle of the Mother, as a messenger of the Mother, spreading Mother's message, Mother's blessings, Mother's contact, establishing contact with the Mother of all these people. That was what he was doing throughout, wherever he had gone. And everywhere he was given a royal welcome and respect to no limit. He was almost looked upon as a demigod. So this is what he has done in various places. Now I can read some, I don't know what if you, 5 minutes first. If I hurry up, I can finish by 10 o'clock. Otherwise, no. Now our sister, Arati will not be very willing. She has given a lot of latitude, and there is not much for another sitting either. But here, some of his visions and experiences are wonderful. And you will see here what he has realized during his active service with the Mother of Sri Aurobindo. We do not know that he had any vision or experience except feeling of great joy and ananda and love. But spiritual experiences or visions we know nothing about. They started coming to him according to the record here as soon as he started going out. So there you can see now, it was not simply a kind of a sightseeing or trip, global trip, so on, globetrotter, but he was carrying Mother's presence all through wherever he went. I'll read 1 or 2 or 3 here. Mother in a golden body. It was in 1979. He saw it in Calcutta. You see how vision comes. He was sitting in a drawing room of a friend and he sees, I saw the Mother standing in space, just in front of me, looking at me. The Mother's look was very intimate and full of compassion. She looked at my forehead with very penetrating eyes. I began to feel vibrations in my forehead and all over. I began to feel vibrations in my forehead and all over inside my body. After some time, I felt as if a fire was burning inside and everything became very hot. With this, there was a throbbing in the whole body. In spite of this fire burning inside, my external body was very cool. It is very difficult, etc., to put in words. I looked at the Mother. She was smiling. Her smile seemed meaningful. I noticed that her body was expanding more and more in all directions. The whole space was covered by her. There was nothing except her. No sky, no earth. There was only the Mother with her Virat Kaya. I am now surprised as to how I was able to see this form of hers. Then this gigantic figure was no more there. I could only see bright, cool, golden light. I saw the mother coming out from it, with a transparent golden body, which appeared to be made of light only. I saw a golden hammer in her hand. This hammer also seemed to be made of bright light, golden light. In her other hand, there was a luminous golden lotus. The mother looked again at my forehead. This time my forehead expanded and became vaster and vaster, as if there was no end. The mother lifted her hammer, turned it around in space, struck it hard on my forehead. Something came out from my forehead and vanished in space. Inside me there was a movement like an electric current going up and down again. This lasted for a few seconds. The body was extremely cool. Then I saw golden light inside all parts of my body. The golden light began to radiate from my body and spread around in space. It was going farther and farther. The mother came very near to me. With both her palms covered my eyes, forehead, just as she used to do when she was in her physical body. The vision was over. It gave me a feeling of great change in myself. This is a very long account, but it is a wonderful experience or vision. I will take a short one. A message from the mother. 1985. It is on the 20th, that means on the eve of the mother's birthday. The mother and Sri Aurobindo gave me darshan in a dream on the 20th. The mother was in peals of laughter. Seeing this, Sri Aurobindo kept on looking at me and then at the mother with a buoyant smile. What a delightful laughter it was. The mother was gazing at me with fond affection. It was an extraordinary sight. Then the mother exclaimed, "Champaklal, bravo, bravo. But is this the way? What are you doing? Have you not written about us and our way of working in your book? You were shown everything. You understood well too. Why are you then reacting in such a way?" On hearing these words, Sri Aurobindo burst into laughter. Usually Sri Aurobindo smiled, but at that time he chuckled aloud in the same manner as the mother had done. Today, after ages, I had the rare privilege of witnessing both the mother and Sri Aurobindo in sparkling mirth, a magnificent spectacle. Then the mother recalled, "Champaklal, did you not mark that many a time I worked the whole day without taking any food? All the time was spent in meeting people, and that too in what a way. What kind of persons I was obliged to see, and what not, and how much I had to bear. Very few individuals know about it, but you are present all along. I had kept you with a purpose. When I used to apprise Sri Aurobindo of the day's happenings, then too you were often there. Have you forgotten all this? Do you not perceive that you have to work like me? Can you not see even from the way I change your circumstances and also the programs planned by you and set them anew? Because by giving importance to what you have to undergo on meeting others, you used to stop going out and retire completely. I am compelled to reorganize your environment. Do you not understand even then? You have to work further, more and more. Au revoir, Champaklal. Au revoir." Then Sri Aurobindo smiled gently, asked me, "Champaklal, did you follow? Did you grasp what the mother told you?" Having said this, Sri Aurobindo roared with laughter and my eyes opened. That exhilarating laughter, I can see it clearly even now. I think if I go on reading this, the other part will be still. These are so wonderful things. It says Golden Virat Purusha, 1:187. It is not a dream, nor even a vision. The question is, by what name shall I call it? I happen to go to an altogether strange and unimaginable place. I do not even know how I managed to reach there. My very existence was forgotten. Who am I? From where have I come? I was unable to remember all this. Gradually I started looking around, and it seemed to me that I was in Sri Aurobindo's room. But the room appeared to be totally different. It had no doors, no windows, not even an entrance. I pondered, how did I manage to come here, but could not recollect. This all was absolutely unfamiliar. One has to give some name, hence I have used the word hall. Except for the glowing golden light, nothing was seen. Later, a certain kind of melody was audible. Hearing it, I became calm and quiet and longed to go towards that direction. I got a tremendous pull from there. Then, all around, everywhere, a cadence began to flow in. The tone of the mantra became louder and louder. Incredible feature was that I thought I understood everything, but I did not comprehend. What a contradiction. Everything appeared to be so strange. The notes then entered into my body. As soon as they penetrated into every cell of my body, these sounds were transformed into a variety of colors. And what luminous, radiant and fascinating colors. All these colors were rotating from top to bottom, from below upwards. I was at a loss. After that, numerous living figures made of these lucent colors were seen moving about quietly within. They were communicating with one another through gestures. Then these forms came out of the cells, merged into the light that flooded the hall. At that time I could see nothing inside but the golden light. Outside was seen a majestic, enchanting, glorious, gigantic, Virat, golden Purusha. How to write anything about this Virat Purusha? On his forehead was a refulgent golden sun, which though blazing was simultaneously effusing peace and coolness. Wherever this Virat Purusha cast his gaze, he dispersed rays of the golden light. The scene then changed. He was holding many suns. He contained countless suns in a single body. In fact, one can say that he was composed of suns only. What an ecstatic sight, indescribable. The Virat Purusha's splendorous glance was vibrating love, grace, compassion and tenderness. Then the huge hand of this God of gods caressed my entire body. Instantly after his caress, I became bodiless. Yet I felt that someone was moving me all over in that immense space. The loud chant of Om, lead me from mortality to immortality was heard. It was being repeated in several ways. Then the light of various colors was seen. Ultimately, all over the vast expanse, the golden light alone was visible. Simultaneously was heard the melodious, powerful, resonant chiming of the victory bells, I was absolutely spellbound. I reflected, what was all this? From where to where had I come? Filled with gratitude, my body prostrated itself in sastang pranam. I just did not feel like getting up. I had to force myself, but the mind was lost in the experience, undergone in its vivid remembrance. Almost the whole night passed in this state. It was in Sri Aurobindo Nibas, Vadodara something. So I think I should stop here. There are other two. Do you want me to go on? But now comes the sad part. Well then, what I shall do, I shall not talk, I shall read. Then there will be Godspeed. I have forgotten one very sweet episode. Yes, you can start from there. I told you that we used to go out all over the world, and used to bring lots of presents, lots of things, lots of money from people who had donated, who had given to the mother and Sri Aurobindo, who had given to him. Lots and lots used to come with baggages. And what he used to do at night, he used to open all these baskets, make a list of all these presents, going on working and working. I was sleeping in my room, and there was a curtain in between, and the sleep was not very comfortable because the Sri Aurobindo's room was very hot. But he did not care anything about it, for anything about it. He was going on and on and on. If I made some sound, he used to pull the curtain a little lower. That's for 3, 4, 5 hours he was going on working and working. Then in the early morning, when I have got up, he was sleeping nicely. So in this way, when he used to go out every time, this used to happen. But the one thing, so many presents, so much money, he did not keep, as far as I know, or he kept very little for himself. And one thing I know, he was giving a lot of money to the lake estate in which we were trying to do some experiment. And other places, certainly to the Duman or to the ashram, he was also giving a lot of money. So this is one about the fact about his trips to other places. The other thing, when he was not going, there was some interval in between. He was resting here, particularly during December. There used to be trips or picnics. There was a very enjoyable time at that time. So our young captains used to invite us. Our captain over there once, he remembers how we accompanied him. Then also Manoj's groups and other groups. Then Champaklal readily agreed, and they were very happy to have him in their group. And Champaklal also was certainly very happy to join them. Anyhow, one incident happened. It was there, I think, Tiruvannamalai. We had gone there. Champaklal was always adventurous. He is nothing if not adventurous. So when we thought of climbing the Tiruvannamalai, going to what you call Skandashram, very high up, Champaklal also must go with us. He was going, we were climbing the hill, the path, many of you know, not a very pleasant path. It was not a macadamized road. And Champaklal, though he had a golden heart, I think he had feet of clay So, legs were weak, used to tumble or tilt. I was always following him as a shadow. Then some people who are new, as he was tilting, they used to come catching. Then Champaklal's original nature used to shut them away, would not like to be touched. They were really a little surprised. Anyhow, we climbed and climbed and climbed. The sun was bright and we were feeling hot. After we have climbed quite a good bit, Maharaj Champaklal was going out of breath and his face became flushed and his chest became blossomed into a flower, so to say. We became panicky. I think Manoj was there at that time in his group. It was a clear sunstroke. What is to be done? There were no trees, and somehow they brought him down into a shade. The boys were very anxious. They were giving, fanning him, so on and so forth. He lay down quietly for some time and then he climbed down. So that was one very, fearful experience. That I think was needed to be told, how he was affected by these things. But still, his company was, as all of you know, very happy, very joyous. His simplicity, his frankness, his sweetness emanated everywhere. Then, as I was going to say, what happened? Going abroad, it had become a passion almost with him. He was going almost sometimes twice a year. Let me read out so that I may take less time. I had enjoyed another trip but let it be. And the Mantru Mandir experience also, I think would have to, those people who are interested can read the book. His movements were restricted. I will not go into the long story of the gradual failing of his health. He tried hard by resorting to various methods to regain his lost power of limbs, but without much success. He had even gone to Malabar with an affected leg. There he had tremendous, beautiful experience, which I did not reach. But there, he said, he realized that his leg would not be cured. Then he tried hard with various methods to regain his lost power of his limbs, but without success. He had to be confined to bed. Where mother's grace enabled him to get people to serve him day and night, people mostly from Orissa. Even in this condition, people used to come to him for his darshan or blessings, and he did give himself freely, forgetting his meal time even. Poor Kamala had to wait till 2 p.m. There you find some similarity with the mother's ways. But a period intervened when he was undergoing severe pain. He would shout, he would cry from agony, but no medical reason could be found and no remedy for it. I thought that perhaps the divine force was acting on his body in order to cure him. Here again we were reminded of the mother's last days of intense suffering, and Maharaj, having become a part of the mother, perhaps had to undergo the suffering. Luckily that suffering subsided. People used to see golden light pouring from above into his body, or his body shining with a golden hue. They received boons from his touch or his look beyond question. Rumors had gone abroad about his power and the light that bathed him. So people coming from darshan always made it a point to have his darshan too. Busy as I was with my work, I used usually to pay him a visit in the evening and took note of his health, but could not take any active part. Neither was it needed, since assistance was never wanting. We used to have pleasant time in the evening during his meal and cut some jokes often. He would note my presence and give a sweet smile or a nod and offer a seat nearby. Gradually his powers began to fail and decline, and you had to spend almost the whole day in bed. Even in such condition, he went on seeing people till one day I was told he was going to Gujarat to try some indigenous cure. Once he decided something, nothing could change his decision. We took a tender farewell of each other. That is the end of our long association on this earth. Then I heard he was going to what is called Jantral. I will give just a summary account of his last days in that health center. By the way, some attendant who attended on him for about 2 months, I think, or 3 months, is giving a full account for the Mother India. So those of you who are interested will see and read it. I have learned from him this much. Then prepared by a devotee, it seems Maharaj was very happy there and his health was considerably improved. At that time, I wrote a letter to him, telling him that I was going for my operation and asking him to pray for me. It seems he inquired about the operation, the details, and whether operation was over. Then, on early morning of my operation in Jeepmahar, a young ashram attendant who was attending on me in the hospital saw in his dream that Sri Aurobindo accompanied by Champaklal had come to my room. And Champaklal, moving towards my bed, made some gestures like this, implying perhaps protection, peace, and hope. Then, this is what happened there. Then as he was progressing, he thought, it seems, of returning to the ashram. But since he was progressing, people persuaded him to prolong his stay. Soon there was a setback, etc., etc. I will not go into it. You yourself will read at one time. So in this way, quite inwardly conscious, he passed away. This much I can say from them, that it seems at that time there was a descent of tremendous force in the room. And this person who was awake, he felt it, and he felt the mother's presence as well. He had no pain, he had no trouble, he had gone inward, and that in that inward way he has passed away. This is the story. Then some people have asked me a question. It is very difficult to answer. Why did Champaklal ji suffer so much? Oh dear. One who has served the mother, and none has served before, and Sri Aurobindo loved him so much, mother. Why did this happen? Well, I can't say. I can't give a definite answer. Sri Aurobindo would have said, this is a cosmic problem, leave it. But one thing I can say, not positive, definitive, my surmise, as a doctor also. Yes, from the account I make out. First of all, he had been suffering from high blood pressure throughout, as far as I know. We had taken him once to the doctor in Jipman. The doctor also advised him not to take the trip to the Himalayas. But he insisted, he said, I have faith, nothing will happen. He came back, but from time to time, his blood pressure would go high. And it had to be kept in check by means of medicine. He was a bit reckless. He had a large heart, and this divine largesse that he has received from Mother and Sri Aurobindo, he distributed it freely, without any measure, without any consideration. And particularly I have heard in Orissa, crowds of people used to come to him and fall down at his feet, do pranam, so on and so forth. So like a prodigal son, the blessings, the treasures that he has received from Mother, as you have seen, he had a large heart, he has distributed without any consideration of people or caste or whatever you like. I believe that had something to do with his physical condition. Why I say that? In this book, he describes some experiences that he had. This is, as the people used to do pranam, touching his feet. Says, sometimes when people carry within themselves vital and hostile forces, they attack his body. It happened in 1980 when he went to somewhere. Then there one lady tightly caught hold of his hands and stared into his eyes for quite some time. I could see the quiet but intense look, and in the struggle it was as though there was a veritable battle of forces and the lady's dark force was getting absorbed. After the distribution, Champak Bhai took his lunch and he sat down midway and slowly collapsed on the ground. He did not allow us to touch him. He said that it would take 5 minutes to get all right and then quietly closed his eyes in the pose of a pranam. So on and so forth. At another time, he says, he used to feel other times. When there was some wrong vibration, he used to feel pain in his legs. So I was telling you this because of the occult phenomenon that might have been a contributory factor to his physical illness. However, then to end it all, to sum up, this is Champaklal, as you are now. if I have made it clear to you. When everything will have been forgotten about the Maharaj, one thing will remain recorded in the spiritual history of mankind, that bhaktas like Maharaj are not human beings. They are not simple people like us. They come down with the avatar to do their work together. Champaklal, a man so simple and candid, not at all familiar with the ways of the world, pure, innocent and loving. In fine, a rare, high soul, a demigod, born as man to serve the avatars and at the same time to set an example of what is perfect service for the divine. He reminded me of Rishi Janaka, who lived in plenty and free from all attachment at the same time. He had a touch of Buddha's compassion or that of Saint Francis. He was pure like Sukadev. He could lose his temper but never bear any bad feeling, grudge towards anybody. His very presence radiated light and sweetness. He had embodied in his consciousness the Mahavakya of the Gita, Manmana Bhava Madbhakta, etc. In the synthesis of yoga, Sri Aurobindo speaks of two ways of reaching the divine, the path of knowledge and the path of love. Making a distinction between the two, he says, knowledge brings a wide embrace. Love is the deepest and most intense, and its privilege is to be the key to the most profound and secret recesses of the divine mystery. All relations of the divine are open to him, Salukya, Sahujya, etc. That was exemplified in Champaklal, as well as all of you have realized. This is my country.